Alright, Shalom, Shalom, Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHEM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHEM, RICANS, Shalom to my Akim, Wathim, who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this final captivity. This is Brother Kawakub coming at you with another lesson. I want to get into, let's start with 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 6. And there are diversities of operations, but it is the same power which worketh all in all. Alright, so today's lesson is going to be about, just how we are all one in Hamashiach Yahawashi. Alright, so actually, let me get that as a matter of fact, because that should have been here to begin with. But basically, what we're going to be talking about is how we are in one body, just as there is multiple parts to a body, Slakia. Just as there are multiple parts to a body, each body part has its own function. Bear with me. Romans chapter 12, verse 5. So we, being many, are one body in Hamashiach, and every one members one of another. Okay, so there's going to be different body parts. All right, some brothers are going to be the eyes. Okay, maybe the watchman always going to be able to tell. Oh yeah, look at the news that's going on. Okay, I know I'm definitely not that. I only ever hear of news from another brother. Another brother's always the one that is that's hearing news first, and either posting it on their YouTube, posting it on their YouTube community page. Definitely check that out, because I put me on mine, because I post a bunch of different brothers. Very good lessons. So you'll definitely find a lot of different edification from that. There's also Instagram. Instagram brothers also do a lot of work on Instagram. Me personally, I haven't been on Instagram as much, so I haven't been able to see, how that's going. But I do know that brothers, they are definitely doing their part. All right, and then on top of eyes, there's also the feet, the hands, the arms, the body and whatnot. All right. So yeah, as a result, or the fingers, yeah. So yeah, like you the thing is, some of us have bigger jobs to do. Some of us have lesser jobs to do. Some of us have to be the head leader, on this side carnally, to tell brothers what to do. Some brothers don't necessarily know or have full guidance or full, the spiritual awareness to know X, Y, and Z. All right, which that's fine. Not everyone. We all have our different lots. We all have our different responsibilities. So as a result of that, it's not anything to be ashamed of. Okay, but it is something to work on. We all need to work on ourselves on being able to communicate with Yahawadah properly for each our own, and in addition to that, just in general, being capable, being each of us being capable men on our own. All right. So let's get into these scriptures. 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 3. If any man teach otherwise and consent not to wholesome words, even the words of our Lord Yahushua Hamashiach, and to the doctrine which is according to godliness, he is proud, knowing nothing, but doting about questions and strifes of words, whereof cometh envy, strife, railings, evil surmisings, perverse disputing of men, of corrupt minds, and destitute of the truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw thyself, but godliness with contentment is great gain. So basically, there's gonna come a time when there's gonna be people that think, oh yeah, we quote unquote all want the same thing, quote unquote. But the issue is, okay, which we have to be careful of this is, yes, which, so again, I've actually heard of this, which this is not any shade to anyone, but I actually did hear this, which kind of sounds odd, speaking as a man, in my own personal opinion, which also other people have agreed with me. Some of the brothers in question have kind of agreed with me about when they made the lesson and talked about said topic. But if we all have the same doctrine, okay, then we should attempt to stick together. If we all agree on the same thing 100%, then yeah, there should be no issue in terms of sticking together, being unified. And once again, going back, unity slash unifying goes back to becoming one, which we trying to do that in YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI. Now also continuing on, with that being said, one key issue with brothers is that oftentimes there comes a time when brothers get proud and think that they don't want to be taking orders from someone else, so they don't want to be underneath someone in rank and stuff like that. And once again, like it's not even a doctrinal dispute, but it's more so of like you're just being proud, and you want to be the top dog. You want to be the front face when like that doesn't really, like, at the end of the day, like, while I might be temporal, like, oh yeah, brother Kawakab is leader of this camp or whatever, and stuff like that, which you might get some praises within Israel and stuff like that, but ultimately, like, that's not really going to yield to you the good results, especially concerning Esau Edom, because you don't know what Esau Edom will do. You might just go after who he deems, or who he views as the leader, in order to try to deceive the men, the subordinate, quote unquote subordinates, quote unquote. And as a result of that, like you don't want to be the one to be put in that spot. Okay, these are some very which even then we still, even if we're not leaders, we still have to worry about that in general, but not maybe not to that extreme, but just in general. The main takeaway is how we shouldn't be trying to think that we have to be at the top, especially if there's a brother that is more qualified. We have to be able to, not necessarily relinquish, but acknowledge and understand that, what, maybe it would be better if brother whatever is the leader instead. Maybe this brother should, should push this instead. All right. It's not a matter of, oh, I want to be. I just want to be because I'm hot stuff and stuff like that. And again, like this disrupts the body, because you got a hand trying to be the head, or the foot trying to be the hand, or the legs trying to be the fingers. Okay, and that is not what the Lord put us to do. Okay, if you are better suited as a finger or a hand, all right, then stick to your role. Stick to the role that the Lord put you in, or the role that the Lord made you to best fit. All right, and again, it all goes back down to pride, and we need to be able to let go of that pride, especially when dealing with brothers. Okay, or just in general, I guess, so that we can go farther, not just in this truth, not in this walk, but just in general, because that same pride is going to be the thing that's going to get you fucked up with Esau. All right, if you have pride and you think, because what does the scripture say? Let me actually get that. Bear with me. Matthew chapter 5 verse 25. Agree with thine adversary quickly, whilst thou art in the way with him, lest at any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. This is an example of what can happen to you if you are proud. All right, and that's the thing. Like, say Esau's trying to pull some BS on you. All right, and he's trying to do something or something, or he tells you, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. All right, sometimes you just gotta take the L. You gotta just say, okay, you know what, fine, whatever. I'm leaving, or I'm not gonna pursue this anymore. I'm good. I'm done. All right, and that's the thing that we need to be able to do at times. We have to be able to just say, okay, you know what, I lost here internally. I lost. I'm not gonna fight it. I'm not trying to make this a whole big situation, okay? Because it's that pride of thinking that you're entitled to something. When, in all honesty, we're just slaves in this. We're slaves in this society, okay? Like, you're definitely not going to be able to get anything out of this, all right? And we're not even supposed to be seeking to gain in this society, all right? But back to 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse 7. For we brought nothing into this world, and it is certain we can carry nothing out. Actually, alright, yeah, I think we're done with that. Let's go to the next one. Back to 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 6. And there are diversities of operation, but it is the same power which worketh all in all. And this is the thing that we need to remember, that while there are different positions, there are different roles, okay, but it's still YAHAWASHI that's working them. So it could be, your role could just be reading, okay? That's a very important thing, all right? Especially, like, speaking as someone who primarily, has to read and, preach and teach and do all this stuff, by myself, okay? Having all the precepts, getting all the precepts on my own and stuff like that, all right? Like, that's a very what's the word, hard thing to, it's like, not hard thing, it's a very important thing, important aspect of it, all right? Do you know how much easier it is just having a brother being able to get the precepts for you, and while that brother doesn't have to think about, okay, I need to look for, what does the scripture say, let me go search it up, or let me go flip through the scriptures to find it and stuff like that, or I think it's over here, like that saves a lot of trouble, because that brother is still able to teach and edify and not leave any dead air, but he's able to keep on talking while you are doing that thing. So of course, like, you're not less important. You're enriching the experience. You're enriching the work and the word by doing the reading. Okay, and then also if you make the signs, you're holding the signs, whatever. Just like, there's all these different little things that we do that you can't just take it for granted or think that you're not doing much, or you want to be at the forefront. You want to be the teacher. You want to be the head nigga in charge and stuff like that. All right. You can't think like that, because some brothers are better at other things. Okay. I'll say, like, I have a bit of a stuttering problem, so maybe I'm not the best at what's it called, preaching, but I'm making it through. All right. Some brothers are better at reading, and once again, like, that's not some brothers are better at reading, some brothers are not so good at reading. But the main thing is, and Saki, that's another. Oh fuck. And Saki, that's another thing. We all have differing degrees of versatility and abilities. So just focus on what the Lord made you to do. That's also what the Lord did in the parable, where there was one servant that had 5 talents, one servant that had 2 talents, one servant that had 1 talent. Okay, the servant with the 1 talent, they were lazy. All right, they thought that, oh, just 1 talent, let me just hide it. All right, there's nothing to worry about. There's nothing for me to worry about. But then the servant with the 5 talents, okay, he not only did he work his ass off to double his talents, but he also got the talent of the servant of 1 talent. All right, so there is a reward for all that, and you want to be able to multiply your rewards. All right, you want to be able to multiply your rewards and focus on doing what you can do. All right. 1 Corinthians 12 verse 7. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to every man to profit withal. And the Spirit is going to be in us. The Spirit is going to be in us to do to fulfill our role. All right. Bear with me. Slack anyway. The main point is, as I was saying, so the Spirit's going to be in us to be able to do our assigned tasks. Okay, so even with my slight stutter or whatever, the Lord's able to keep it in check long enough or mostly enough for me to be able to convey a coherent message or coherent lesson. All right, that's the thing that we all try to do. We all try to strive for. Okay, and then when we come together, we're even better, because as we are working, when we're worried about only maximizing our own strengths, all right, then we're going to be a lot more productive. Whereas if someone's doing something that they're good at doing, but then they also have to do something that they're bad at, okay, then it takes time and it also hurts productivity. All right, that's in just working in general. All right. All right, now here I want to get into this. This kind of ties it all together. These last few scriptures ties it all together. Verse 8. For to one is given by the Spirit of... Verse 8. For to one is given by the Spirit the word of wisdom, to another the word of knowledge by the same Spirit, to another faith by the same Spirit, to another the gifts of healing by the same Spirit, to another the working of miracles, to another prophecy, to another discerning of spirits, to another diverse kinds of tongues, to another the interpretation of tongues. By all these, verse 11, but all these worketh that one and the self same Spirit, dividing to every man severally as he will. Slakia. So, basically, and also, call him YAHAWAH. I didn't even remember that. It says, one, Spirit, the word of wisdom, okay? There's also Spirit of knowledge, okay? Wisdom and knowledge, wisdom is more like application of information, and not necessarily knowing information, but more so specifically applying certain information. And then on top of that, there's also knowledge. Knowledge is actually knowing, like fucking oxygen and hydrogen make water and stuff like that. So that's knowledge. And then there's another that's faith. Faith as in like wholly believing. That's gonna happen. Like for example, that Yahawashi is going to return and deliver us. Okay, that's a part That's one example. And what's it called? The gifts of healing. And 10, to another the working of miracles, to another prophecy. Okay, so some brothers, ooh, perfect, beautiful. So some brothers are going to be able to perform miracles. Okay, just as Yahawashi did. And it's fine that we're all not going to do it. Okay, because the thing is, being a part of this truth. Okay, just which I think it's kind of. It kind of goes into what's it called? The same way that the disciples were protected while being with Yahawashi. Okay, it's kind of gonna be the same thing where if we're with other brothers and one brother in your group gets spiritual power, then obviously it's without a question. Okay, I was even talking about this with one of my brothers where. If I said, well, it was already understood that if he got spiritual powers and stuff like that, he would just protect, me, everyone, our circle. Okay, if I got spiritual powers, you didn't even need to ask. All right, but yet, like that was the thing that we were talking about. Like, well, Yahawadah, one, me, you, or both get spiritual powers, and that was the thing that we. Love to discuss, and we also love to discuss, what exact spiritual powers we would even be getting. All right, that's another beauty of it. And Sakya, funnily enough, I'm going to go into a side rant about that because I was watching some videos where people were talking shit about spiritual powers. Like, how can you do that? It makes no sense. You really think with all the stuff that Yahawashi did, reviving someone from the dead, all right? Like, can you imagine doing that mechanically? Okay, so the funny thing about that is that there's a spiritual side of things. Like, if let's say for example, if someone dies, all right, if someone dies, and you wait 20 years, and then you magically are mechanically able to make that body start working again after 20 years, after it decomposes or whatever, and you preserve the body, you don't let it decay and rot and whatever, is if you still make that body able to move, is that going to still be the exact same spirit of the person of the person that lived in that body, or is it going to be AI, something else, or is it just not gonna be alive anymore? And that's the thing. That's the thing, because you can make someone's body move. You can make someone's body move, but like it's not. In Saki, when I say you can make someone's body move, like say for example, you implant some sort of fucking, like, I don't know, those sci-fi movies where they put someone else's brain and stuff like that. So let's say that all that shit is real, which I don't even know if it is or not, but let's just say that it is, real. Okay? And that's miracles on the left hand side, Esau's miracles. Okay? It's like not even Esau's, the devil's miracles, alright? The devil's miracles able to do all this stuff, but it's not the same as what Yahawashi did, and by extension we are going to be able to do. All right, because the thing is, and you have to really think about certain things. Okay, let's take Marvel. All right, the Marvel MCU with freaking Captain America. All right, he has super strength and all that stuff. He's super fast and all this stuff, but that is because of that's mechanical. Let's use that term. Let's use that term for the sake of it. That's mechanically engineered. All right, and the thing is that that's limited. All right, that's limited. Which also, Slakia, that's another thing. If you can compare this type of stuff to other powers in the MCU where the mechanical the mechanically advanced characters, okay, are very limited, and they're not even like in the runnings to actual like high top tier characters. All right, which I'll even say, for the Hulk, that's kind of debatable, but whatever, because he was, I guess, bitched in the MCU. But compare the thing is that mechanically, it is like, and if let's even give Esau Hulk. Let's say Esau is actually able to make a Hulk. Okay, so they have all this Hulk crap stuff. They have this Captain America, all these different mechanical miracles, these mechanical blessings. Okay, which, yeah, that's gonna be that's dangerous. That's a threat to us as we are now. But the thing is, comparatively, when we're gonna be at war, with Esau Edom, the Lord's gonna give us spiritual power. But the spiritual power that we're gonna get, it's gonna be spiritual, and it's gonna be on the level of fucking Dragon Ball Z. All right, where Dragon Ball Z is not planetary and all this stuff like that. It's universal. All right, like you have Goku that's able to threaten the universe. Goku, Vegeta, now Gohan, Piccolo, freaking what's his name, Beerus. All right, Whis. That's already 6 characters off the top of my head that are universal. All right, that can threaten the universe. All right, because the thing is, it would be like multiple. It's like multiple Gokus, Vegetas, Vegeta. Oh yeah, Broly as well. All right, multiple Gokus and Vegetas against the Avengers. Which, like, what the fuck is if you put the Z fighters against the Avengers, what the fuck are most of the the Avengers going to do? They're just going to be fodder. All right, because even the weakest of the Z fighters, Yamcha, Krillin, all right, Yamcha and Krillin, they literally slap the fuck out of Captain America, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Iron Man. All right, they blitz them, all this stuff, and that's the comparison. That's basically what's going to happen. During the war. All right, with the war on in heaven. All right, like you're gonna have these there's only gonna be like what, maybe 2, if not 1, that's gonna maybe put up a fight, if any. All right, and that's me being extremely generous. All right, I literally only say that they're gonna put up a fight because I'm making the comparison of Z fighters versus MCU Avengers. All right, peak MCU Avengers. Okay, Scarlet Witch, Hulk, and Thor, and that's all they have. Even Iron Man is one of the on the higher tier, but he's not even that good. And we're giving them all that. I'm giving them all that for the sake of the argument. But even then, against true power, all right, true power, actual genuine power. Against actual genuine power, which Yahawashi demonstrated while he was while he walked the earth. All right, there's nothing that tricks and mechanical enhancements can do. All right, and this is the thing that people have to understand. Like, nah, like of course there's gonna be some spiritual power. Of course there's gonna be miracles. Dismissing the miracles is disrespectful to Yahawadah, because and also it's also making Yahawashi seem like a liar. Let me get this, all right? So I'll give up for the long rant though on Marvel and Dragon Ball Z. John chapter 14, verse 12. Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also. And greater works than these shall he do, because I go on to my Father. All right. So, right then and there. Fuck. I keep on hitting the things, lock, yeah. So right then and there, we come to the understanding that the works that Yahawashi did, all right, reviving people, what's it called, walking on water, rebuking a storm, all right. These things that Yahawashi did, to name a few, because I can't, it's not all coming to me at all at once. But the thing is, all these things that Yahawashi was able to do, one at he said that we that believe on him, we're gonna be doing even greater works. Okay, so how is it not out of the realm of possibility that we are going to be able to do to revive people, heal people, or do something even offensively? All right, because Yahawashi, he rebuked a natural disaster. All right, if he has a feat that's on the level of a natural disaster, how much more are we going to be able to, like, maybe we'll be able to call on a natural disaster. All right, that's the thing. All right, so slocky about that. I'm going to get back into the initial topic, but that was a good thing that I think is very important to talk about. All right, there is going to be spiritual powers. All right, you have to have faith. There's gonna be some of us that are gonna have the ability, and the thing is, not all of us even need to. All right, that's just how powerful the power of YAHAWAH is. All right. So to another, the working miracles; to another, prophecy; to another, discerning of spirits; to another, diverse kinds of tongues; to another, interpretation of tongues. Okay, so right there. So if you're able to speak multiple different languages, that's already a gift right there. Okay, some brothers are, like myself, are very terrible at retaining multiple languages. I tried my best to learn I think 3-4 languages. It just never stuck with me. Okay, I just could never stick with it and whatnot. I just can't. It's just something that I'm not blessed with. So, I don't need to dwell on that too much. I can try on my free time, I guess. But, ultimately, it's just not something that is for me. But there's brothers that know English and French, common in Canada, English and Spanish, fucking Southern Kingdom or Northern Kingdom, forgot Slovakia. What else? English and whatever language from whatever diaspora that you are. All right, could be Chinese, could be Russian, could be Indian, Middle Eastern, whatever. All right, like it's your job if you are able to translate brothers' pages. All right. Another thing, discerning of spirits. So being able to spiritually detect things, being spiritual. All right, that's another thing. All right, I remember that reminded me of this one anime. That reminded me of this one anime, Yu Yu Hakusho, where the main character, Yusuke Urameshi, he was trash at detecting spirit energy. But there was one person on his team, Kuwabara, that was a natural. He was so good at detecting spirits and sensing spirits and all that stuff. And that was his job. Like, that was his one of his main jobs. Not necessarily being, well, obviously aside from fighting, but which we all have to be able to do some sort of thing universally. But outside of that, his job was being able to sense spirits. Okay, sense things spiritually, and we some of us are able to do it. Some of us are better than others. Some of us just can't. All right, which again, it's all fine. And finally, another prophecy. And I'm not gonna lie, you know, I've never been the best at prophecy. I've only been really making, for the most part, videos based on like repentance, I guess, as well as I guess general things, general understanding the scriptures. All right, and me personally, I'm not saying that I'm gonna give up on trying to understand prophecy. No, I'm gonna do my part to take it a step further and actually try to learn. Okay, because I do still need to know. All right, I have to have better comprehension on what's going to happen. Okay, but I will say, yeah, prophecy has always been an issue for me. I haven't been the best with it, but call on MANASHAH. Actually, funnily enough, just today I actually started studying on it. I found some videos. I finally found some videos, which was exactly what I needed, and I'm taking notes, starting to study on that right now. So yeah, that's basically it. Just we all have our different. Let me read this actually. 2 Ezra chapter 1 verse 30. I gathered you together as a hen gathereth her chickens under her wing, but now what shall I do unto you? I will cast you out of my face. So basically, the thing is, again, we're all going to be brought together. All right. So yes, it is. This going back to us being the body. All right. We're not. The burden of everything does not fall upon one person. That's what we have to remember. Okay. So as a result of that, again, don't be proud, but at the same time, do the best that you can to actually attempt to cover all bases to the best of your ability. All right. So yes, we attempt to cover all bases, but if you aren't able to do it all, don't sweat it. All right. But yeah, that was basically I really truly pray that this was edifying onto the elect. I'm still working on areas that I myself need to work on. In Yahawadah, I get to the point I continue to grow in this truth and improve in every way, shape, and form. Okay, so I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all honor, glory, and praises unto Yahawah, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, RICANS, BABYAMAN, Shalom.